What if there were a medicine that could heal almost anything?
That would be great.
But they didn't want you to know about it.
Sorry, who's they?
Some people are following me, and I brought my tortoise.
From executive producers Mike Judge and Greg Daniels and co-creators Joe Bennett and Steve Healy comes an animated comedy thriller about what it takes to change the world. Common Side Effects. Series premieres with back-to-back episodes. February 2nd at 11:30 p.m. on Adult Swim. Next day on Max.
If you are caught up in the Barbenheimer frenzy, if you love ranking the Mission Impossible films, if you are just an all-around movie fan, I have a podcast for you. Hello, I'm Amy Nicholson. I'm a film critic who writes for the New York Times, and I am also the co-host of Unspooled, the ultimate movie podcast. Each week, my co-host Paul Scheer and I unspool famous films to see if they are truly all-time classics. From the original 1984 Karate Kid to Children of Men to more recent pictures to Dune, yes, to Citizen Kane, we cover it all. Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
You're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to be on my side, not Team Lottie.
There's one fucking team, Shauna, and we're all on it.
You can't think that's still true.
Look, I know that you're freaked out.
No, don't do that. This is not about me being scared.
Then what is it about?
You joined their fucking prayer club.
It's not like that. I'm only in it because of Van and Lottie.
And she's obsessed with my baby, Ty.
Okay, so Lottie's excited about the baby. We all are.
If anyone should be excited, it's me. But I'm rightfully freaking the fuck out about having a baby in the middle of the fucking woods. And newsflash, having a bunch of psychos praying for me in some weird fucking tree cult isn't making my life any easier. I don't need your fucking prayers. I need you to have my back.
I do. Shauna, for the first time in a really long time, I'm not afraid to fall asleep.
Hello and welcome to Doom Coming, a podcast where we're watching and discussing every episode of Yellowjackets one at a time, spoiler free except for in What's the Buzz, and you can't stop us and don't try. Before we go into the black recesses of my soul, I just need a minute. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
I had a quote, Jenny, that I pulled and I can't find it. So I'm just going to accuse you of praying and profiting.
That's what I do best, Kristin.
I'm Kristin Russo. And today we are talking about the 5th episode of the 2nd season of Yellowjackets. Buzz Buzz, by the way. We simply never say it anymore. We're just it's gotten too dire in the woods to say Buzz Buzz this season. It's 2 truths and a lie.
It really is. 2 truths and a lie. Kristin, first let me encourage you not to hate the predator and profiter, but to hate
the game,
the socioeconomic late stage capitalist structure that some might call the game.
Sure.
2 Truths and a Lie was written by Catherine Kearns and Sarah L. Thompson, directed by Ben Seminoff, and it originally sprang online on April 21st, 2023.
Is that your Friday date? Did you make sure you got your Friday date?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, this is the one where also in the recesses of my mind, I'm still like, I know I had picked a thing to say, and I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Bestie. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like a Misty Crystal play for you and I.
Wow.
We'll figure it out.
Who's the Misty? Who's the Crystal in our dynamic?
Yeah. Everyone's going wild with the fucking episode descriptions. Okay. IMDb. Rise and shine and don't forget your booties because it's cold out there.
Booties?
I'm so sorry, but I didn't write it. Misty makes a leap of faith. Natalie and Lottie play a game. Shauna finds herself unexpectedly randy. And Ty seeks out a movie recommendation. Actually, okay, so what I just realized is that Showtime's description is everything. They just said, fuck your booties. They just took out the first sentence. So it is the same. Misty makes
what I would have done.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just did it in real time, not even realizing Showtime had done it first. Do you have big feelings on this episode?
I don't think so. I think I just have small feelings.
You know,
a lot of small feelings.
A larger question that I have about this show, and maybe I just like don't clock it. It's harder for me to clock it, but like I'm used to a title being like having like a deep underlying meaning. And I find with this show that I can't figure out what that is. Two truths and a lie. And that's a game that Walter and Misty play in the car. What else is it? Like, what am I supposed to take from the title? Do they care? Are they just are they doing what I do when I try to find my intro last minute and I'm scrolling through my notes? Or like, is there a deeper heartbeat to these? I mean, obviously the first few episodes of the season were like just kind of hilarious puns on things, you know, edible complex. And, you know, we were leaning into the cannibalism of it all. But two truths and a lie. I don't have anything. I got nothing.
Do you think later we'll discover that everyone in this episode told two truths
and one lie, except for Walter, whose only motivation is to win?
Yeah.
I don't know. You can write to us at hello@bufferingcast if you'd like .com. That's hello@bufferingcast.com, not hello@bufferingcast if you like.com, just to be clear.
We should go ahead and buy the buffering if you like.com domain.
Buffering if you're nasty, you know.
I mean, I think what you just said, Kristin, you know, vibrates with the things that I have, like small things that I have been feeling about this season as we have progressed, that it feels like they just had like a smashola hit.
Right.
With season 1. People went nuts. Reddit went nuts. There's all this pressure. It just has been, I think it was like very wild out of the gates, and then a lot of pressure and a lot of attention while they proceeded to make season 2. Mm-hmm. And even though the showrunner's line is they've had a 5-season plan from the beginning, I have questions about that, which I can maybe talk about in What's the Buzz. Yeah. And I just feel like this season feels just like a little, like it could be reined in, just a touch.
Yeah. I want everyone to know that Jenny texted me today and she said, you know, I'm listening to our podcast right now, and I'm really going to try to listen to you more, because I'm responding to you with the things I would like to have responded to you. So I just really like got that. I was like, oh wow, she really listened to me right then. You know, she's really responding to me. I anticipate that as soon as we get about 10 minutes in, we'll just be back to our normal selves. And I kind of hope for that, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. But that's what resolutions are all about.
Yeah.
A good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
On one hand, you know, listening to our podcast, with that having been my MO recently, has actually allowed me to have a genuine podcast listening experience with our podcast.
You're hearing it for the first time.
Not that that I'm hearing it for the first time, and also B, that I'm like, listen, just say this, you fool, to myself, to my past self. It's like, I know what I would say if I had like heard you and processed you in real time, and it wasn't like, you know, scanning my notes and like trying to stay on top of everything. And I'm just like so disappointed in me.
Oh no, Jenny.
No, everything's fine.
The people love you. And I even love you more now that we're both 43 years old. Wow.
Oh boy.
So, okay, we're taking this one past first, present second. So we're going to go 96 chronologically, because 96 usually goes chronological. Like, it's usually an easy arc to move through. They're all there.
Yeah.
They're all together. And we get into the present, we'll break it out by storyline there. But I will say, if there's one big thing in this one, this is a real big connecting piece of past to present, and something that maybe you already fucking knew this, but sometimes things that I would never have realized come out when I rearrange my notes, and I'm sort of like cutting and pasting and blah, blah, blah. And what I realized on this note-taking journey through Two Truths and a Lie is that this is the episode where, of course, Kristin, spelled with an E though, so not me, dies. And Misty is doing very briefly CPR before she realizes that Crystal is fully dead. And she's using Staying Alive as her like how to keep the rhythm. And then Staying Alive is the song that's playing in the car when Walter and Misty are driving in their first scene together, which I had never noticed before. And it's just a tiny little thing, but it's just so delicious when they are revealed, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get chilly. Let's put our booties on.
Wait.
Wait.
I can't put my booties on yet.
Okay.
I can't go to 1996 because I have one order of business, and I've resolved to watch the credits every episode.
Oh, I love that.
So that nothing slips by me.
You missed Alanis one
again.
time, and now you watch the credits every time.
I can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
But there's a dang ass palm slice right in the credits, Kristin. Hit that beautiful jingle. I want it now. Went to all the trouble of making it. Let's hit it.
Let's fucking hit it.
Down the middle of your palm, you're gonna feel that later on. When you eat, when you write, when you do a ritual sacrifice, when you gather wood to split, and when you get Mari in the pit.
Beautiful.
Okay. What's going on in 1996-ish?
Well, Ty is fucking she's untied. Get it?
I do.
Get it?
I really do.
She has not been sleepwalking. Okay, now let me tell you something. I have only had the experience of watching this episode one time while 7 months pregnant, and I have a deep tie to some of Shauna's responses in this episode. This is one of two. Ty is like, "Good morning," and Shauna's like, "Is it?" Just like huge and like, "Fuck off, everyone." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? That tracks.
Checks out.
Yeah, I can feel that. And you know, this whole opening is sort of to let us know that Ty is going to the prayer circle / the Lottie's woo woo bullshit, a t-shirt that we made. Actually, we still have a few left in the Patreon shop.
I just this is what do you think about this?
Like what they're doing at the circle?
Yeah.
I have two minds about it. I think, listen, okay, in like a broad sense, I think that we are creatures of nature, and our connection to the world around us is deep and powerful and meaningful and amazing, and we've lost it little by little as human beings, because we have, you know, invented things and discovered things and sort of just like really distance ourselves from it. So, and I think that a lot of like religion and you know, the practices and the traditions that we have are tethered to this origin point of like recognizing our connection to the world around us. So I really like from that standpoint that like they've been out here, God, I don't know, is what I just realized. How long have they been out here? How long? I don't know, Jenny.
A little bit. A little while.
And I like that they are finding this connection. And I think, and we'll talk about it when we get to these scenes, of course, but like, I think that the varying relationships that people have to spirituality and faith and ritual, you know, are really portrayed in a very fun and cool and accurate way through the teammates here in 1996. So I would be, you know, my ass would be out here hearing the fucking wind and the pine needles. You know, I would be. I mean, this is like much more of my beat than the cynic and the skeptic. So I think it's cool. But when we diverge into baby shit, I think that I felt wiggly about it before being pregnant, but like that, their connection, Lottie's kind of, that stuff is like, that's where I feel not good. How do you feel?
My initial note was it's giving goop. And in my episodic scan of the Yellowjackets subreddit, I found one relevant comment that I want to share with you.
Oh, great.
The ritual Lottie is doing is literally just guided meditation. She would love Headspace.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but that's just the thing, right? Headspace comes from the thing before. It's a big circle.
I agree with you. Whatever, it's good nature is good, and we should be in it, and also any structure you could probably create in this environment is probably gonna benefit you.
Yes.
But the like sort of self-seriousness of Lottie, especially in contrast to like the last time we saw her in the last episode when she was like, I don't know, I guess I'll go out in the woods. Why is everybody sending me out in the woods? I'm not a hunter. She's just like, that's good. Yeah, we're tuning into each other, and I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta go.
But I think I also think that, you know, Lottie is, what we saw last time was like Lottie feeling this pressure of like, people continue to look to her for guidance, and she's been like, I don't know, guys, for like a while. And I think that when someone is in a position where people are really desperate for guidance and they continue to look for it in them, you like try stuff on, and you're I think she's probably just trying to meet them, like really lean into this thing that they seem to recognize and see how it goes. So I can buy it, and I celebrate some of it. But this last line, a new life is coming and we can't wait to meet him. Then everyone, we can't wait to meet him. I was like, no,
thank you. Simply,
oh my fucking God.
No, thank you.
Okay. So also fucking Javi's here. Don't forget.
Javi is here. Sorry, I just want to attempt to potentially answer a question that you posed moments ago. I think maybe we shared this in the Discord, or somebody else has shared in the Discord, a Yellowjackets Wilderness 1996 to 1998 timeline that someone in the sub put together, which places this episode around January 1997.
Okay.
Which means, according to this timeline, they crashed in May. So this is their eighth month in the wilderness.
Oh, right. I mean, I guess we can keep track really like quite well by the fact that Shauna is apparently going into labor at the end of this episode, and she definitely was pregnant before the plane crashed. So there you go. Okay. So,
dude, sorry. The other thing I wanted to say there's a couple things I want to say about this circle, if you don't mind.
I don't. Did you want me to be like, close my eyes and listen?
Yeah, and just listen with your tongue or whatever. Whatever they say. Sorry. Okay, Mari looks happy for the only other time since they decided to have a baby shower.
Yeah.
This is what Mari has been missing. And then my favorite thing is when they're talking about what they hear. People are rattling stuff off, and then Akilah, who seemed skeptical inside when she heard Ty was coming to the meetings, contributes, sounds like a whisper, and then gives Ty a fuck if I know what I'm supposed to be saying at this shit kind of look, which is so funny.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. I'm really excited to get to the Ty and Akilah exchange. That's very, very meaningful to me. But first, let's try to get Javi to talk. He won't talk, you guys. He won't tell us where he's been. This is the tiniest sound clip in the universe, but there's every once in a while I'm like, and if I had been in the wilderness in the snow for 8 months, this is exactly what I would say. And one of our newer Yellowjackets, this is Jen and Melissa. And I truthfully only know their names because I looked them up. You know, we don't hear their names really much. Melissa says the following to Jen when they're wondering about why Javi won't talk.
Maybe he dead, darling. And that's his ghost.
This is my shit. This is how you keep shit alive. You know what I mean? This is how you keep it fresh in the cabin.
Van's trying to get Javi to tell them if he found shelter. Mari, already back in bitch mode.
She's
you
only
owe us
peaceful
after
at church.
stealing our bear meat. She's only peaceful at church.
So this is like, we get tension a little bit between Nat and Travis here, and it'll come to a head. And then Akila's in the pantry with Nugget. She lies to Mari and says she was just talking to herself. And we get, more of a sense. We knew that like there was one card that was like dump the bucket card. But in this scene, we get more context. There are cards for a lot of things. And Mari, for some reason, is in charge of walking around and having them pick their cards.
The absolute last person I would want in charge.
Yeah, well, I think maybe Misty is the last person that you might want in charge of anything ever. But
that's a bit of a toss up. Okay.
Yeah.
When Akila goes to draw her card, she looks so stressed out.
I just want to say that this afternoon, Jenny M. Mouse ran across my kitchen counter, which is like, that's like pushing it for me.
Yeah, that's a little too far.
And when we got to Akila and Nugget, Avanti texted me. I saw it. And so I just want everyone to know that I'm having a really immersive experience where talking about a mouse, and there's a mouse in my house currently.
Wow.
Anyway, yes, she looks terrified. Do you think she looks terrified because of the shit bucket, or do you think she looks terrified for some other reason?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think maybe we can revisit this in What's the Buzz for a second, because I think it's worth just kind of wondering about aloud.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Please.
Kristin,
I can't wait to talk about Jack Kevorkian.
Are you inviting to your slumber party?
Honestly, this trio is fantastic. Plato, Eric, how do you say his last name?
I think it's Knees.
And Jack Kevorkian. Not a bad trio. Good time.
I love Plato.
Duh. I don't know why I would want Plato. I'm actually fine without Plato, but the idea of like Eric Nies and Jack Kevorkian at my slumber party is delightful to me. So I'll throw in Marissa Tomei as my replacement for Plato.
Oh, wow.
For my own personal reasons.
Wow. Purely business.
They have this amazing conversation about Jack Kevorkian, like in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking Crystal is like, what he does is so brave, and then she talks about how like her beagle was suffering and they put him out of his misery, and she says, why should humans have to suffer more than beagles? Which is a question I am always asking.
Great question.
These are good, important questions, and if only this kind of admission of truth could be safe for the rest of the episode, but it can't.
Mari rolls up and is like, what are you two dorks dorking out about? Actually, don't answer that. Just pick your short drink. Mari's being a bitch.
Mari's being a bitch.
Yeah, also, I wrote, don't worry, Crystal, you and Whimsy will be reunited soon.
Also, Mari has this thing she does twice. She does it when Akila is like, I'm just talking to myself. And when Crystal says, thanks, bestie, Mari has the same response to both of them. And she just says, okay.
Obviously, I wouldn't want to be stranded in the wilderness with Mari.
Right.
But I really, she's bringing a particular kind of life to the show that I really appreciate. And I really appreciate this actress. I hope people aren't being
shitty to
mean.
The actress. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's great. I mean, she's essentially like the mean girl of the bunch, but in a way that is not as like on the nose as a lot of like mean girls are often written, like she's just bitchy. She has no tact. She says what the fuck is she's thinking the minute she thinks it. She's our friend Jessica. She just fucking says what the fuck she means, no matter what it is. And you have to have some sort of appreciation for that kind of consistency, you know?
Do I?
You do.
What do you think about the fact that they made the shit bucket card the 2 of spades?
Oh my God, I love it. I took the same note. I only noticed it on this watch. I wrote LOL, the number 2 is the shit bucket card. Fantastic. Makes sense. Number 2. You hate it. I'm sorry, but if you're telling me that you think a bunch of high school students would not make the number 2 the fucking shit bucket card.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. We get this conversation where Thaisa and Akila are talking about how they ended up at Lottie's circle.
Yeah. Akila said, I love this line maybe more than most. I saw you going and I was bored. And then I wrote, this is basically how religion begins. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what? I would like to stop washing these clothes in this basin right now. Let me just go do what the fuck you're doing. What are we doing today? And I also think that it's cool that, like, you know, Akila's junior varsity, right? There were 2, were there 2 JV, or no, there were like a couple JV players on the plane.
Yes.
And so I
think Rachel was on JV and Rachel's dead. Rachel was going to see Oasis at
Jeez, Jenny.
Continental Airlines Arena.
Fucking R.I.P. Rachel. Sorry,
the Meadowlands or whatever.
Well, I mean, maybe they're all dead, just like on Lost. Oh, God. The ghost of Joanna Robinson is about to murder me. So I like that. And, you know, I like that Akila, in a sense, is looking up to Ty and like looking to Ty as just like a person ahead of her in the soccer game and ahead of her in, you know, years in high school. But also, like, these are 2 Black characters. And I think that there's also something very important about that, and about the fact that Akila seeing Ty going to this thing was like the thing that was like, okay, you know what? Let me just go and see what she's doing over here. And that Ty was a skeptic as well. Like, Ty was not one of the people like singing Lottie's praises. She was very, very skeptical. So I think for Akila, a fellow skeptic, seeing this, you know, there's just like a lot of prongs, I think, that make their connection really cool and really special. And then I want to play this clip of Akila talking about her and Rachel and connecting this kind of ritual that they had to what they're doing out in the woods.
Before every game, Rachel and I would pump ourselves up to Easy Lover. And then I would put on my lucky socks and she would put on her lucky shin guards. And then we would tap our cleats on the line at the same time before we took the field.
That's really cute, but I'm not sure how well it worked. You guys lost a lot.
Well, maybe we would have lost more without it. Maybe it wasn't even the point. It just felt good. Like, we could pretend it made a difference. Like, we would play better or they would play worse. I mean, it's not like we really believed in it. Not deep down, but we still did it before every game.
This to me is like one of the more powerful tellings of, you know, it's like this intersection of superstition and faith, right? Like where those 2 things like butt up against each other. There's this, I think you've listened to it, Jenny, because I was really moved by it at the time, and I feel like I made everybody I know listen to it. But there's this Dan Savage, like it's part of a larger storytelling thing, and he's talking about the way that he believes / doesn't believe, and that he, you know, when he's in the car and like his partner is driving too fast, he's like, could you please protect me? Like, it's like there's like these moments in his existence where he knows he like foundationally like doesn't really believe this thing, but then also it's there and it's like part of him, and there's something he has to do, and there's I'll find it and you can get a better description because it's been a long time since I listened to it. But I just love this portrayal of like, I'm not saying that doing this thing with our cleats and playing this song is what's making this happen. I'm not saying it's making us win, but what if it's making them lose a little more? Or like, what if it's doing something? Or what if I just feel like I can't stop doing it now because I've made a tradition out of this and it feels important and it feels meaningful. And like, I'm not eloquent enough to really like grab hold of the why I love like all of the ways that faith is approached in this episode. But I just think it's really fucking cool because obviously like my mom is somebody who's just like blind faith, right? Some people can just be blind faith. It's incredible. I don't know how they exist. It's wonderful. It has to be wonderful, right? It has to be amazing to just be like, and I believe. And here are the things I believe and I have no questions. I just believe. But I think for a lot of us, this is the kind of like path that we walk where it's like, I don't know, like it would be crazy to think that there's nothing bigger than me. It would be crazy to think that there's nothing that I don't understand. But how do I interact with that? And what do I do with the questions I have? And what do I do with superstitions and traditions? And, you know, I don't know. I just think it's cool. And I think that the episode does cool shit with it.
And I mean, you said the thing about your mom, but I think that like if there were a theologian here with us, let me just clarify that I am not a theologian.
Slowly becoming the theologian of the pod.
Little by little, it is kind of freaking me out. But I was in a group chat the other day. There was a long conversation going on that I like was not present for. I just got there right at like, you know, what do they say in media res or whatever. And the last person had said, "Isn't it great being Catholic?" Like two of the other people in the chat were like raised Catholic,
right.
Cradle Catholics, and their
right.
families are Catholic and everything. And I was like, "Huh, maybe it is. I don't know." I was like, I'm not Catholic, but I think I might be more Catholic than a lot of Catholic people.
Yeah. Well, I've always felt that way about Christianity in general. At
this moment in my life, and it's pretty chill. And then I read back through the conversation and was like, oh, I got the absolute opposite read that I was supposed to get.
Right from
that. And from there, it branched into a conversation where they were talking about their Catholic guilt, and I was like, I was not raised Catholic, and I feel like Protestant guilt is unsung because Protestants are too busy being guilty to talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's it runs so deep.
We're like, and shame, actually. Shame about our guilt.
I see your guilt and I raise you shame.
Yeah. Why did I start saying this? Oh, because I'm slowly becoming the theologian of the pod.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what a theologian might say if they were here
about my blind faith.
About the blind faith of your mom versus the sort of like constant struggle of your day-to-day existence is that like faith is not like a thing that you like achieve and then you're just like nice.
Totally.
Now I just like I believe and I have all the answers, you know.
Totally.
And if you do, then like maybe something else is going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that like faith of any stripe is not supposed to be a destination. It's supposed to be a practice and a struggle and a journey. Your favorite word?
My favorite word, journey. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I've said this on pods before, but when I first started like digging into other religions and sort of like turned a couple pages in the Judaism book and learned about how, you know, in many like sects of Judaism, the entire point is to ask questions. As a person who was raised Catholic, I was like, what now? You're supposed to ask questions? You know, like it was fascinating and brilliant and wonderful to me. And it really like blew my mind because that was not at all what was encouraged in Catholicism. So I agree with you. Like, I think that there are probably a lot of people who would say that the bigger faith is asking the questions, but I still think it has to be a wild ride to be somebody like my mom and just like,
yeah, it must be very relaxing.
Yeah, right. Like, you know, you hit low. It's not that you don't hit lows, you hit lows, but then you're just like, hey, I got this thing, and I got these answers, and I'm okay. Wild. Anyway,
and as far as their little ritual, I mean, whether it's like you know, a sort of like distillation of like a faith concept or a superstition concept, whenever something like that crosses my threshold, I'm like, couldn't hurt, might help.
Yep.
May as well do it. Let's find out.
Why fuck with it? I probably have said this before too, but when I first moved into my house, on the side of the garage was a little wind chime. Like it had just been left there, and it has a little Jesus fish on the bottom of it, just like a very nondescript like stained glass. And I saw it, and I'm not a person that would hang a Jesus fish in my house. But I also realized in that moment, I am not a person who will take the Jesus fish down. I'm not going to take it down. I don't know what that's going to do. So like, that's sort of the place that I exist in.
Let's not disturb. Let's not find out what that could lead to. Every 80s horror movie that is house centric,
right,
gets kicked off when somebody comes in and changes something.
Well, I mean, you can say what you will about the Jesus fish. I also wouldn't take out the tiny fucking little child's piece of clothing stuffed into the hole in the side of my basement wall. Put that right back the fuck where I got it. Don't touch that shit. No, thank you. So, Jesus and little ghosts. I feel the same sort of reverence to both of them.
Okay, I need to know something.
Yes.
What the fuck is Travis giving Javi that is, quote, good vitamin C?
Maybe it's sunshine soup. They just put a bowl of water in the sun.
Why is that so funny? It's like got stone soup vibes, but sunshine.
Yeah, sunshine. Also, we have a lot to talk about, and I know I can't go tell every little thing, but the last thing I want to say about Akilah and Ty is that the last moment they have is Akilah jokes with Taissa and says, yeah, you go because you're totally whipped. And she's talking about Van. And I just want to say it because Ty is Van is very comfortable with her queerness and whatever. And we've seen so many moments where Ty's like, shut up. Okay, they know that we're together, but we don't have to make a thing about it. And so I just really loved that one of the bonding moments that they had amongst many others was the fact that Akilah joked with Ty about being whipped and doing what Van needs her to do. It just felt very special. Okay, sorry. Sunshine soup. This is we're supposed to really see that Javi looks at Lottie, right, and is like, I'm not fucking saying anything in front of her. That's what that's the vibes I got.
I think he only talks to Coach because I think he watched them eat Jackie and saw that Coach was the only person not participating.
Oh shit. Right. I already forgot they ate Jackie, honestly.
I think it depends on when, how much he saw, because if he saw the Triangle Buddy wins swoosh through the pines, dropping a load of snow on Jackie and perfectly smoking her and rendering her absolutely succulent and irresistible, then I feel like he couldn't hold it against them. But if he just rolled up on that and was like,
right,
oh, they did this on purpose.
And he was gone before Jackie even froze, right? He doesn't even necessarily know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
She got there. Yeah. Travis and Nat have their confrontation. He says, you planted the bloodied clothes. And she immediately says, yeah, I did. I didn't think he was alive. And it doesn't make any sense that he is.
So true.
Travis, maybe he wouldn't be this fucked up if I had found him sooner, and that's on you. That feels a little bit misguided. But either way, Lottie runs out after Travis. There's this Travis, Lottie, Nat triangle that will still be present with us as we go to Compound Lottie later. And then, oh no, time to dump the shit bucket. Only thing worse than dumping the shit bucket is falling to your death on top of the shit pile.
That's what I'm always saying, Kristin. Okay, the way that these confessions escalate.
Oh, God.
Misty hates deodorant. Crystal let Justin Lee finger her backstage during Bye Bye Birdie. Misty walked in on her parents having sex and wasn't totally grossed out.
I struggle with that one. That one's hard for me personally.
It is upsetting.
It's upsetting. Yeah.
Crystal's name is actually Kristin. How did that make you feel?
I don't know. I was like, I mean, I remember watching it for the first time being like, wow, there's a character that has my name. And then she was dead within 1 second. So I was like,
yeah, watch out.
Yeah, I feel conflicted. I get this. Crystal, she kept Crystal because they made her a nickname and she like felt like it was something special.
And,
yeah. Like, and then you let something go and then you like.
But she could have been Kristin the Piston.
Oh, yeah. That works.
So easily.
Definitely Kristin Piston is like one of the few shitty things that I remember from elementary school.
Oh, like you were pissed in?
Yeah, or like just I think at that age it was just that the word piss was in it. I don't think anyone was really thinking about what the
right.
word meant. Oh God, I'm writing in my notes before we even get to I'm gonna keep calling Crystal because I've decided it's the name she chose for herself. So
totally.
Do you know how lucky we are? Some people never find someone they trust enough to share their deepest secrets. I am screaming. I paused it and I looked at Avanti, who like wasn't really watching because I was taking my notes and nobody wants to watch television with me while I'm taking notes because I pause 150,000 times. Yep. But I was like, listen, every time I get here, I just hope she makes a different choice. Like, this is one of those moments where you're like, don't do it. Please don't do it. Please. Oh,
but she has to do it. She's got a secret. She's got a secret that she can't wait to tell Crystal because, you know, sharing secrets with people is exciting, makes you feel closer to them. And she's like, guess what? Your name isn't actually Crystal. Well, I destroyed the plane's emergency transmitter.
Let's hear this. Let's hear this horrifying exchange.
The night after the plane crash, when everybody was asking me for my help and treating me like I was actually useful, I found the plane's emergency transmitter. And I destroyed it. Crystal?
You're the reason we never got rescued?
Oh my gosh, you should see your face. I totally got you.
You're not that good of an actress.
Come on, Bestie, you don't actually think I would do something like that, do you?
You're not my best friend, you're a psycho.
But no, Crystal, stop. Okay, you can't tell anyone. I mean it, okay? I'll do whatever you want. I will flush the toilet for you. I'll do all your chores, okay? You cannot tell anybody, please.
Or what, you'll poison me?
No.
I'll fucking kill you.
Oh no. Oh no. Misty, are we in agreement? Misty definitely did not want this to happen.
No.
I mean, like, Crystal falls off of this cliff, and I don't know what would have happened. Misty probably would have gotten eaten for dinner, honestly, if this hadn't happened, because Crystal would have fucking told them, and Mari would have immediately just like put her fist through Misty's chest and yanked her heart out and started eating it, like without a fucking pause, without a beat. I guess this is kind of Misty's trying to pretend that she didn't tell the truth, that she told a lie. So this kind of ties into the two truths and a lie vibe. Okay, so we'll get back to dead Crystal.
But R.I.P. the shit bucket. I hope they have a backup.
Yeah, well, it was also lost to the storm, you know. You can blame anything on a storm.
I'm not talking about blame or like a reason. I'm just like,
they need
where are they going to shit?
Honestly, I just feel like no matter how cold it is, just dig a hole in the snow and shit in it. I hate that there's a shit bucket. It's really upsetting to me. And when Crystal says to Misty, just get some twigs. No, fuck all of that. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
I would simply walk into the lake and keep walking.
I am not even going to use a bunch of twigs to get my own and only my own shit out of a bucket. You have to be fucking high if you think I'm going to use twigs to get somebody else's shit out of a bucket. Get out of here. At the very least, fill it with snow. Put it somewhere warm and fucking dump it out. Don't scrape it with twigs. Oh. Okay, the only thing that makes me more upset than that, though, is Shauna waking up to Lottie talking to her fucking uterus. Fuck this so hard. I cannot imagine waking up to anyone except for my actual wife talking to the baby inside of my body. This is a horror movie. The Lottie that rocks the cradle. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Okay, so Shauna storms off because she's fucking horrified. Ty, this is weird fucking shit to me. I don't get the Ty moment here where Ty is like, she wasn't hurting anyone. I just feel like Ty would be like, Lottie, what the fuck?
Mean, I think that she's just happy that she's not sleepwalking anymore.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ. Ty goes after Shauna.
Mm-hmm.
The storm arrives. We got dripping icicles and then not anymore. Triangle Buddy is hungry.
That's the weather report.
Crystal just died, Triangle Buddy. How much blood do you fucking need, man?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm having a thought, but I don't want to. But it'll have to wait for the buzz.
Are you putting it in Was the Buzz? Don't put it in the bullets now so you don't forget by the time we get there in 14 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jenny and I made a goal to podcast for less than fucking 2 hours today, and I don't know if we're going to do it. We'll find out. So, okay, they're out in the storm. Misty is, freaking the fuck out, but Ty and Shauna have this exchange, and this is what we opened the episode with. And I think, because I feel like Lottie's woo-woo bullshit and this prayer circle and relationships with faith and on and on and on is really one of the biggest heartbeats in this episode and really in the show. I mean, there's a lot happening here. Don't forget Laura Lee, and there's just a lot. But basically, Shauna is like, this is not about me being scared. It's because you joined their prayer club, their fucking prayer club. And she says, Lottie is obsessed with my baby. Ty says she's excited about the baby. We all are. But if anyone is excited, it should be Shauna. And she's rightfully freaking the fuck out about having a baby in the middle of the fucking woods. Having a bunch of psychos praying for me and some weird fucking tree cult isn't making my life any easier. Oh, God.
Do you think if you could snap your fingers and have some psychos in a tree cult praying in a circle for you right now, you would do it?
No.
Just in case?
No.
Just in case it helps?
No, not if one of them was fucking fully and jealous, sketching me and my baby in charcoal while we slept vibes. Absolutely fucking not. You can keep your tree cult. All right.
Okay, as their argument intensifies and Shauna starts to experience stabbing pains and the wind and snow kick up, Misty runs down to the bottom of the cliff. Oh my God, how do you even get down?
How do you get down there? Seriously.
The fact that they have cliffs like that around, it's just scary.
I mean, this is the same cliff that Thaisa almost fell off of, right? When Van
Is it the same one or
are they just
it
surrounded
might just
by cliffs?
Oh, she does the staying alive CPR, but blood starts pumping out of Crystal's mouth. So
were people saying bestie in 1996?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there was. So I actually had that question. Thaisa, young Ty, says, happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. And that might go back a good bit.
Yeah, well, when I asked about these, she was like, well, it goes back far, it's just normally used by men talking about their wives. And I was like, oh, I think maybe the reason it felt like new is because Taissa was using it in like a queer context, which feels like newer to me, but like the phrase was still there.
Some believe it first appeared in a rhyme by the United States political group, the Work and Wages Party, in 1903.
Dang!
Yep.
Okay. So
happy wives have been making possible happy lives for over a century.
20 years. So Ben picks up a drawing. Did Javi do these drawings?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ben picks up a drawing from Javi. And remember when I told you that there was a horror movie and it was when Shauna was like, but I didn't bring any makeup. And Jackie was like, then what's that? This is along the same lines. She told me not to come back, Javi says. Who did, says Ben. Javi, my friend. I'm sorry.
My friend, the Babadook.
Babadook. Ook. Cool.
The bent neck lady, that friend of mine.
The bent neck Babadook.
Yeah.
Misty busts in. I've lost Crystal. She's vanished. Van is like, Ty and Shauna are still out there and they're just fucking screaming. They can't even really go anywhere because this storm is insane.
Yeah. Everyone's like, Ty, Shauna, Ty, Shauna, Ty, Shauna. Misty's like, and also Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal. I'm sure she can hear me. So they start this thing up where I think Lottie says, what do you hear to Van? And then I hear the wind. I hear my breath. I hear the trees. Taissa in the storm is saying, I hear my breath. I hear the wind. I feel our friends wanting to find us. And on the porch, they're saying, I feel our friends coming back to us. This is a chilling moment for me. This really works on me. The fact that somehow they are finding this connection through this storm and like it's real. That is not, to your earlier like goop comment, like this shit does not feel like goop to me. This shit feels like, oh fuck, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're like really doing so. We're harnessing something. Something is being harnessed, and they get back and they get them inside. And Akila, I think, says, is she in labor? And we get Sophie Nélisse is unfucking. Listen, honestly, the performers in this show are just like top to bottom incredible. Sophie Nélisse is one of the best fucking actors I have seen in a long fucking time. Like her delivery in the woods in the snow to Taissa earlier about like fucking the tree cults and like everything that she fucking delivers is just unbelievable. And the scream stands up. This is a good fucking labor scream. And then we get this needle drop, and Jenny, I don't know how you feel about that. Mother by Danzig. Jenny's upset. It's on the nose.
It's another miss for me.
Would it have been better if it was like, Mother, Mother, are you listening? I think we do get that needle. Do we get that needle drop, actually?
Yeah. It plays when Misty cuts off Coach Ben's leg.
Oh, right. Okay, now that was good. Okay. So we end and Shauna is in labor. So we assume both based on the scream and the title of the song being Mother. And that's the end of the 1996 arc. Now we're going to go to present day, and we're going to do the three storylines separately. The Sadecki's first, Ty and Van second, and then Misty, Lottie, Natalie, Walter as the end. Present day, we're in a bowling alley, classic New Jersey setting. I have never been to a bowling alley where a live band has played. Certainly not a band like Necking. This feels like we're in Brooklyn a little bit more than like.
You've never been to Asbury Lanes.
Yeah, I have been to Asbury Lanes. But it just doesn't feel, well, this bowling alley just feels like a real bowling alley, not like a
bowling alley that's also a music venue. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. I want to state for the record that there is no character that makes me more upset than Syracuse. None.
Yeah.
I am so uncomfortable from the moment that this man is fucking on the screen until the moment he is gone. My first note is this is so fucking goddamn gross. Callie is in fucking high school. He's doing all of this completely against like any kind of code of ethics or fucking, I mean, it's just gross.
Yeah. Yeah, they're bowling because they just hang out all the time now. And Callie, a go-getter, decides that she's going to take matters into her own hands. And she's like, if I get a strike, you have to kiss me. He looks so fucking nervous. He looks at the score and then he's like, oh yeah, you suck at this. Sure.
And of course she fucking gets a strike. I love that she gets a strike by like granny balling this. Like fucking between her legs, like rolls the ball down the thing. Incredible.
It's got to be the slowest a ball has ever been moving, but also somehow managed to knock down all the pins.
Yep. He immediately is like, oh, no, we shouldn't. And she reasonably is like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why are you hanging out with me this much if like there's nothing here? This is bullshit. I throw up in my mouth. No one grosses me out as much as this fucking guy. He's just like, oh, you really mean so much to me, and that's why we have to take it slow and blah, blah, blah. And she buys it for the most part. And then he says he has to take a leak or some other version of that makes me want to die.
I do want to say that, like, because of what this show is, we now are like... Syracuse's methods aside, we're like, we hate these fucking police officers who are trying to solve a murder.
Yeah, but this is... I mean, listen, I'm sure that many police officers are doing many fucked up things, but this is not just like... He's not just trying to fucking solve a murder. Like, this is gross. He is a gross
he
man.
is a terrible vibe. But even Kevin, like, I just think like it's funny that this is our...
Yeah. No, Kevin is doing his job. Kevin is doing his job. I have respect for Kevin.
Okay. He gives her this big emotional pitch that like gets her back on track. And then once the ship is righted, he's like, gotta take a leak. I wonder what prompts her to look at the tab when it gets dropped off.
Well, I think that like, because that's why I said like she buys it. She mostly buys it. But I think that Callie is like always skeptical, you know? And she's like, who wouldn't want to kiss me, you know? She opens up the tab. She sees M. Syracuse and Googles it immediately and sees that he's a fucking cop.
Yeah, I love that he gets got by a Toys for Tots police department article.
Oh, they're in the car. She's kept it to herself that she knows this, of course. And then she fucking plays
thinking so fast.
This is like, Shauna is so bad at doing so many things, but she's so good at doing so many other things. And like every time Callie does something like this, I'm like, that's like the Shauna in Callie. Like she's just like,
I mean, it's certainly not the Jeff.
No, it's for sure not the Jeff. It's just like, it's sort of like doing this thing that might be a good idea, but you don't actually know. And I think that most of us would just not do because we'd want to think about it more, but you just go for it because you're Shauna or you're Shauna's daughter, Callie. She's like, things are fucked up at home. My head is all fucked up. You're right. We should take it slow. I found out who my mom is fucking. Syracuse can't fucking keep it chill at all. He's like, do you want to talk about it?
Who?
Do you think that she made this up just like she said that first and was still searching for like who she was going to say Shauna was fucking?
No, I think the whole idea crystallized in her mind in one moment.
Oh, my dad's best friend, Randy.
Oh my god. And Syracuse looks so bummed.
He does not even fucking put on a poker face for this. Like, he doesn't even try to
Yeah.
pretend like he fucking is not a cop who's trying to find out that her mom murdered Adam.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of crime.
Yeah. Bring it, Jenny.
Low down, dirty, just like dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Acts that when you think of depravity and you look it up in the dictionary, what you see is a picture of the Sadecki family making sandwiches that involve mayo and yellow mustard and God knows what else on cinnamon raisin bread because it was on sale. No sale, my friends.
No.
Is that good?
No. And this was, remember last week they were chopping cucumbers and I was like, something bad's happening in this kitchen, right? I remember something bad happens in this kitchen. It was this. It was mustard and mayo and cinnamon raisin bread. What are we doing?
Who is the yellow mustard prankster on this show's staff? They can't get enough of putting mustard where it does not belong.
All right. This scene delighted us so deeply that we both pulled the same clip. We just have to hear. Callie's going to come in and she's going to tell the truth because that's what Callie does now, because she feels her parents trust her enough to say they did a little murder and they did a little blackmail. And so now she can trust them and tell them the truth as well.
Remember when you asked if I told anyone about all the stuff that's going on? Promise you won't freak out.
Sure.
No. I've been hanging out with this guy, and I just found out he's kind of a cop. A fucking cop?
How old is he?
And I might have mentioned that you had an affair, but that was before I knew that he was a cop.
Does he know that you're still in high school?
Oh my god, you promised not to freak out. Besides, it's fine. I fixed it.
What? How?
I said Mom was sleeping with Randy.
Randy Walsh.
You told him my wife was sleeping with my best friend?
Well, at least it's better than telling him it was the guy that she killed.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't believe that I'm gonna say this, but it's actually not a terrible idea.
Okay.
What a trio of actors cast to play this family. This is a beautiful, it's a dance, you know? They do it so well. Oh, God. The thing that Jeff, so the only thing you can't capture in a sound clip is that, like, when this is coming to a close and Shauna's like, it's actually not a terrible idea. Jeff says, you cannot be serious. The thing he does with his hands is like incredible. He's just like the most like disgusted husband that has ever been disgusted of like, how did this wind up being my family? What is happening here? Oh, God.
Yeah, I wanted to include the audio because there are these things that Jeff and Shauna like just react so differently to. They're like intense in different ways about different things, and I just really wanted for everyone to relive the magic.
Yeah, promise you won't freak out. Oh, God. No, Shauna's absolutely not. She's gonna say it like it is. Oh, my God.
A new year means new opportunities, and if you've been thinking about starting your own business, let this be your sign to take the leap. Of course, this decision comes with a lot of questions, like, how do I get started? How do I come up with a brand? How do I sell stuff to people? What am I even going to sell? Well, if you have all those questions, you can take a deep breath, because Shopify's got you. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open for business, and get your first sale. With Shopify, you can get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. No coding or design skills required. All you need to do is drag and drop. Their powerful social media tools let you connect all your channels and create shoppable posts to help you sell everywhere people scroll. And Shopify makes it easy to manage all the details, like shipping, taxes, and payments from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff, like growing your business. The best time to start your business is right now, and with Shopify, your first sale is closer than you think. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/realm.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 40% off select styles, plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Okay, so Callie's really proud, by the way. So did I fix it? Shauna's like, you did great, honey. Like, she's like, like I want to like say, yes, good job, but also how did I wind up being in this position?
Yeah.
We go to the motel. Kevin and fucking Syracuse are in the parking lot staking it out. Shauna goes to Randy's room. My favorite part. So first of all, I've decided something, and it is that Randy Walsh is Clem from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
It all really gelled for me. The Fritos helped me get there because if you know Buffy, of course, Clem is he's always got chips. You know, he's ready for your company. But they're just their whole vibe, their whole energy. Same guy. I love more than anything that they have decided that Randy will simply do what he is told because he knows things and that's just what he has to do, and that they're just like, go jerk off into this condom and fucking don't ask any questions, Randy. Okay.
Oh my God. And he's like, what? So Jeff said I'm not supposed to touch you. Does this have anything to do with Natalie and the FBI?
Oh my God.
I like that he says B-mail instead of blackmail. Just really keeping it discreet. And as he heads off to complete his mission, Shauna's like, hey, don't you dare think about me. Oh, it's just so good.
It's so good. Shauna's like messing up the sheets and the pillows to prove that fucking has happened. She says under the doorway, you almost finished?
He's in there turning the lights on, turning the lights off, turning the lights back on.
So he's trying to give himself I remember that when we all watched this episode for the first time, and Come On Randog was really heard internet wide at the time. He sees the lotion, which is very interestingly strawberry scented.
Oh yeah, what are the odds?
Right?
It's kind of high, but
he fills the fucking condom with the lotion because he cannot do it. He cannot complete his mission. I mean, honestly, I don't know that there are a lot of people that can complete this mission if they're told, like, here's a condom, go jerk off into it. We can't tell you why. The FBI has just questioned you. It has nothing to do with this. You've been involved in a blackmail scheme, and now we need your fucking cum in a condom. I don't know about that. It'll take a lot of concentration. So Shauna leaves. Kevin
they
is
could
like,
not look any less like two people who are fucking.
Yeah.
Like Randy's goodbye wave, unbelievable. I think you got to tell Brandy like a little bit so that he knows what role he's playing.
Yeah, I do too. And I think stressing the importance of this act probably also would have been helpful. I mean, not that he would have been able to complete his mission, but at least he wouldn't have filled the condom with hand lotion, you know? So
yeah,
Kevin's ready to roll out of there. See? They fucked. Syracuse is like,
Not so fast.
Have you ever heard of a hunch? Have you ever heard of Fox Mulder and his hunches? I've got a hunch.
Yeah. He's like, I will not be satisfied until I have irrefutable proof that those two people just fucked.
Am I? No, I'm most upset about him smelling the condom. That is absolutely not acceptable. Do not do that. But I'm also upset about him saying it's not spooge. And third of all, I am upset when he says the cuse is loose, baby.
Yeah,
this man should be killed. Is anyone hungry? Is anyone feeling a little hungry? Can we roast this man on a spit?
Yeah, he sucks. We didn't even talk about the Big Lebowski thing earlier. Which
yeah. He sucks all the way up and all the way down, which sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Kevin's like, okay, you may be right about this, but this means that Callie, a teenager, intentionally gave you bad info because you have been exposed.
Yeah. She might be good, but I'm better. Oh God, I hope you die.
With
I hope you die so hard.
With the distinct scent of Lucius Malfoy and Voldemort, two adult men constantly feuding with 12-year-olds. Syracuse vows to defeat the child.
All right, let's get to Van and Ty. I love this. So this is how the episode opens. The episode prior ended with Thaisa walking in, making eye contact with Van. They both recognize each other. And that's all we got. This one, this is cool, as I only realized it when I said it earlier to Avanti. It rewinds the tape, which is exactly what Van is doing. She's literally rewinding a tape in the beginning of the scene. But it rewinds the tape back for us so we can see the beats that happened before Van got to the store and Thaisa walked in. I just thought the setup of it was really cool and worked really well. She's rewinding a tape in a fucking red, it's like a red sports car. And I was like, is that the VCR? No, that is simply they're used to kids. We don't often talk about this. Okay. Mm-hmm. There were VCRs. There were also simply machines that would only rewind. That's all they did. You'd put the whole tape
to take
in.
the pressure off your, like, less wear and tear on your VCR. You had a special rewinder. Jesus Christ.
Be kind, rewind. I can see the sticker on the tape.
Look,
I can see it.
I'm concerned because Van is eating a sprinkle donut for breakfast, which is famously the most important meal of the day. And it looks like it's kind of been out on the counter overnight. There are sprinkles fucking everywhere. She's also drinking like a lemon lime soda, maybe?
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I was like, is that I don't think it's a Mountain Dew, but we're close. We're close to Mountain Dew. It's not good. I did a lot of pausing. I wanted to see some of like what a dream to get to be the like props person and the set design person for this, like to set up Van's apartment. I saw beaches in the stack of VHS tapes. She's got a Ferris Bueller poster down in the store. She also has one later that we see in her apartment. She fucking loves Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Jenny, she also has, I saw a poster of a lady, I thought, and she was wearing leg warmers. And I said, that's probably a Flashdance poster, right? So I looked up Flashdance. It is a Flashdance poster. And that got me thinking, oh my God, she likes Flashdance, which means she loves Bette Porter, who, of course, Jennifer Beals? I always confuse Jessica Biel and Jennifer Beals. Jennifer Beals, who is the like lead in Flashdance, is of course Bette Porter from the L Word. This is far after the L Word, and so I was like, she must have also loved the L Word. She is the exact kind of gay that would have fucking eaten up the L Word. What do you think her relationship to the L Word is? Do you think she has a favorite character? Do you think, like, what's her vibe?
I think that she has a whole spiel that she'd be happy to share with you if you step across the threshold of her video store. She might even have it on VHS. She might have gotten
But she
VHS
did the
pressing.
opposite of what people do. Instead of taking like VHS and converting it to digital, she took the DVDs of the L Word and put them back on VHS.
Yes.
I think she's probably a big fan of Alice. I think she likes Alice. And I think she was one of the few people who didn't find herself attracted to Shane, you know? And I have respect for that as one of those people. Bless Shane in all of her wonderful ways. But anyway, talk amongst yourselves. Please, if you have opinions about Van and her relationship to the L Word, email me at hello@bufferingcast.com. We don't have time to do all of these deep dives, but I need this to be something that you email me about. So that
There are too many possibilities. There are too many adventures that you could choose to go on. But we have to point forward or we'll never finish this episode.
So she lives above the store. That's an important piece of information. Bunch of unpaid bills, Jenny, come through the mail slot and she throws them away.
It's not great.
A couple kids come in. They don't know what a VCR is. Don't worry, she rents them.
These little boxes. Meanwhile, somebody she's clearly mentoring comes in to return Party Girl, starring Parker Posey.
Yeah, which I just saw. I was very happy. And she gives her the watermelon woman next. She's going through, coming to Van's video store is also majoring in queer studies. This is her syllabus for this young queer. She's helping her. And I love that for both of them.
Then Thaisa comes in and Van is like, Ty. And Thaisa's like, hey, Van. And then Thaisa crumples to the ground. And Kristin, then we go to the credits, right? That's where the credits hit. And it's never addressed. We never find out explicitly why Thaisa crumpled. We don't return there. It's just kind of like, no offense, the previous 2 episodes in this season when someone screamed and then we went into the credits. It's like a dramatic thing that I feel like didn't necessarily need to happen.
I mean, I just read it as I accept your opinion. I have a different one. I like it because I think that Thaisa, we know that Thaisa has been running on actual fumes. I mean, when did she even take her assistant's car, her campaign manager's car and start driving? She's sort of just been probably hasn't been sleeping, is not okay at all. And she got to, and this will be fleshed out as we go through their whole arc, but she got to probably the only place in the world where she can feel moderately safe. And so I think that her body just collapsing to me makes sense in that context, that she did it. She got here. This is the place that Shadow Ty has been telling her to get to. It's been her mission for a very long time, where she probably has not eaten much or slept much or showered much, as we'll learn.
When eventually they can get to the point where they have a conversation about, or start having a conversation about what's Ty doing here? And Van is almost immediately like, it's happening again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thaisa's like, hang on, I got you a little gifty. And it's the boob pen from the trucker.
Oh, and we learned that they fucking they subbed this pen out at Shauna and Jeff's wedding for the guest book.
And Jackie's mom almost had a stroke.
Van does a Mrs. Taylor impression where she just says, I can see her bosoms. I love this. I really hope, I don't know how any of this would be handled, but I'm dying to get some of these 98 to 03 scenes. Give me Shauna and Jeff's wedding with the Yellowjackets who have survived, and Thaisa and fucking Van subbing out this pen. I would love to have some time in that universe. And season 3 is coming soon enough, so perhaps we'll get some of that. Okay, so Thaisa immediately, I love this. Thaisa has immediately told Van about the dog, about Biscuit. Just goes right into every single fucking thing that has happened. And then she has to take a shower.
While she's in there, she finds some oxy prescribed to somebody with Van's first initial, and immediately is like, what is the meaning of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Van tells her about her mom's cancer and how she ended up like moving in with Van for a while until she passed. And then she like performatively throws it into the trash.
Cancer scared the bitch right out of her is a really good line. That
Many
Van
such
says
cases.
about her mom. Yeah. So Van is like, people reassess their choices when they know they're going to die. And Thaisa is like, maybe you don't have to be dying to have regrets. And Van is like, fuck off. Like, do not fucking walk in, collapse in my video store, and then like try to fucking tell me that like you think we should be back together again or whatever the fuck you're saying right now. Lauren Ambrose is brilliant. She has this like, she's brilliant in everything she does, but like she has this moment where she like says a quote from one thing and then says a quote from another, and Thaisa calls her on it and is like, is that Seinfeld? And she's like, I'm mixing my pop culture metaphors because I'm fucking upset. And it's so good. And like in that moment, I was just like, God damn it, I'm so glad she's here. I'm so glad that she's playing adult Van. I adore her. And then Thaisa breaks down. Brilliant performance from Tawny Cypress, kind of across the board, but this is great.
Yeah, Van wants her to at least like ask for help, not like what it feels like she's doing.
Yeah.
And Thaisa doesn't want to ask for help because she's scared that she's gonna hurt Van.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the process.
Ugh. And then that breaks Van, of course. Like, you know, Thaisa just sort of cracking down the middle is really all that needs to happen. And Van has her in her arms and she's saying, look, we'll figure it out. Okay, we're going to figure it out. Are they? Okay, so then the last beat we get with Ty and Van, I would like to say that, you know, because we take these things out of their like scene order in the show, every once in a while there's a transition that I just like want to put a little spotlight on. And the last scene that we get with Van and Ty comes right out of a snowstorm scene in the woods in 96. And I personally really liked this choice. It's like it is on the nose, but it worked for me. They come out of the snowstorm and it's the snow that is on Van's television, which it would never be on your television in this era except for Van's television because Van is converting VHS tapes to digital and blah, 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 blah. And I just thought it was really nice. Thaisa has fallen asleep. Van gets her oxy out of the garbage can, takes 2 of them. And then, okay, Tawny Cypress was great earlier when she broke down. Could anybody do Shadow Ty like Tawny Cypress does Shadow Ty? It is unfucking believable. I am terrified every time that she is Shadow Ty. Every time,
it's
Jenny,
scary.
I'm scared.
It's scary. Yeah, Shadow Ty like lays one on her. And Van's like, oh, you're the other one, aren't you?
And Van is like the one that's equipped for this shit. Because Van is not like, I'm scared. She's like, what do you want? Right? Like, I'm used to engaging with this other you. And so I'm going to, while she's here, I'm going to find out what the fuck we're doing. Because Ty can't ask Shadow Ty what's going on. Somebody's got to do it. And we know it's not going to be Simone. I hope she's healing okay. But it's going to be Van. Thaisa. Shadow Thaisa. This isn't where we're supposed to be. Shadow Ty said, we should not have left the island. We must go back to the island. I want to put on record that I think that Shadow Ty is a great kisser.
Signs point to yes.
Right?
Okay. Final squad. Walter and Misty are back in the car after their stay in the B&B. Misty slams off Staying Alive for reasons that we cited earlier, which are now clear. Walter wants to put on a soundtrack, and she's like, I need to concentrate.
And he even offers up Phantom, which we know Misty loves.
When she declines, he's like, let's play this game. Two truths and a lie. Except they're all true.
They're all true. He used to sell goat cheese with a female goat named Billy. Barry Manilow possibly could be his father. There's a non-zero chance. And he has invested $175,000 in Taco Bell stock, even though he's never eaten there.
I was curious. I was like, I wonder what Taco Bell stock is like. And so I went on a little hunt and wanted to let you know that the umbrella company is called Yum with an exclamation point.
Ooh.
And it operates the brands KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and Habit Burger and Grill.
Wow.
Except in China, where the brands are operated by a separate company, Yum China. And Yum stock is currently $135 a share-ish.
All right. Okay. It seems like a worthy investment, honestly. This seems like a really important piece of Walter's character. Misty says, I don't think you understand the rules. And he said, there's only one rule, win. And I will say, like, we do not know a lot about Walter, you know? And so some moment
and
like
this is not a good thing to hear.
No.
Like, it doesn't feel
It isn't.
good.
It really isn't.
I would say the only rule is have fun.
You do always say that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Misty is about to just like give him the 3 truths he wants just so she can keep concentrating. And we get 2. I don't like monkeys. Fair. And I think we're asking the wrong questions about the moon landing.
I wonder what the right questions are.
What are the right questions, Misty? But then before she can say her 3rd truth, she sees, brilliant job, Misty Quigley. She sees the symbol that's on the honey on the gate that they're driving by, and she has him turn around his beautiful station wagon, by the way. I fucking love this car that Walter drives. And in we go. Oh, God. So we go interior first before Misty and Walter will, like, approach the gates. Nat's...
Dude, she's trying so hard to get into Lottie's quarters, but she is getting lock blocked at every turn by various heliotropes. People want to hang out with her. People want to walk together to a workshop with her.
Also, it's amazing to me that she's trying the keys in like broad daylight with people just walking around. What's your plan, Nat? So they're in this group that Natalie is participating in, and I feel like it remains like a question of like what is actually happening with Natalie. Like that's like just a really big question on the board. Is she staying there because she's trying to uproot Lottie and all Lottie's stuff, or is she staying there because some of it has meaning to her?
Starting to feel like both.
Mm-hmm. I really do think
like
that
both.
It is both. Also, Jenny, I just want to know, I just feel like on record, if you think that Lottie and Natalie have had sex with each other at any point in the history of this arc.
At this time, no.
Okay.
You?
Well, yeah, of course I do.
Okay.
I at least think that there's something happening there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Lisa and Natalie are sitting across from each other, and Lisa's telling us, you know, giving voice to our darkest thoughts is how we gain access to our deepest truths.
Is it?
I mean, it's like, I do see some of the truth in that. I mean, think about Misty. I mean, since I posed the question at the top of like, what the fuck does this title mean? Now I'm like, like Hawkeyes on anything with truth in it. And I'm thinking about Misty in the woods and like telling the truth. She destroyed the fucking transmitter to the plane. That was a dark thought and is definitely going to give you some access to some of Misty's deepest fucking truths. So this could be valuable. Could be.
Okay. What if the 2 truths and the lie are Misty revealing the truth to Crystal about what she did to the box.
Mm-hmm.
Callie and then later Shauna collaborating on a lie about Shauna sleeping with Randy.
Okay.
And like something with what Lottie and Natalie do together later.
With Travis.
with Travis, with the fucking antler queen.
Right.
Uh,
What if the other truth is that they all died on the plane?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to fucking think about that. I don't even have anything for what's the buzz. You know what I mean? I have gotten I don't even know. Okay. Nat notices. I like this though. I like what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
I could see Jenny's eyes were doing, you know that clock that's a cat with the tail that goes back and forth? The eyes go back and forth. That's what Jenny's eyes were doing right before she came back to the mic with her 2 truths and a lie.
Wow.
Nat sees that Lottie's hand is bandaged. Lottie's like, it's just an accident. Nat says, I need a minute. And when she leaves, Lottie's face looks like fucked up. Lottie is fucked up. Remember how she kept finding the queen in a deck of fucking cards that was not playing cards? Yeah, cool. Fucking Natalie trying to take a minute, probably trying to get back into Lottie's office. Someone's here to see her.
Also, I love that like Lottie doesn't just have a bandage on her palm, but instead
a piece of
is like, I got it from Goop.
Yeah, it's like a piece of fucking patterned silk. All right, let's just hear this exchange because it's brilliant. This is Natalie walking down to see who her guests are, and they are, of course, Misty and Walter.
What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, thank God. You're safe.
Safe? What are you talking about? And who the fuck is this?
Walter, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about you.
We're here to rescue you. I mean, you were kidnapped, right?
No. Yes, technically I was, but it's no big deal, okay? Lottie sent some people for me, but I'm not being held against my will anymore.
I'm sorry. Lottie? As in Lottie? Lottie who was committed to a mental institution in Switzerland? That Lottie?
Yes. Misty, that's the one.
You're gonna have to elaborate.
She runs a place here, and she's helping me reflect, or whatever. So you and your Hardy boy can go home. But I'm doing a fucking thing here, Misty. I don't need you getting in my way.
She seems really nice.
This is just great. This is everything I want.
Mm-hmm.
This is everybody just like going hard. I just love it.
Misty is like she's has some of her focus on like the cult of it all, and like Natalie is probably brainwashed and like blah blah blah, but like her biggest fucking burning fury is that she did not fucking know that Lottie was running a cult and selling honey. She does not understand.
This seems like a pretty huge blind spot. This actually seems like the kind of blind spot you could only have if you had actually died in the plane crash and were not alive right now.
Oh my God.
So she says, I kept tabs on everybody, and I mean everybody. Who else is not in the mix yet besides Van?
Can't wait to find out. She says, Misty, of course, maybe Lottie is jealous. You can't buy that kind of friendship. You can kidnap it, though. And then Walter, oh no. Walter gets, just like Misty once got a little too comfortable with Crystal, Walter gets a little too comfortable with Misty and says, murder for it? And then he reveals, and we knew this. When Misty made up that lie about Adam's mom, I was like, this does not seem like a good citizen detective move because that's easily accessible information. And of course, Walter has accessed it. So he's put 2 and 2 together and he says, well, yeah, you know, what would have made you lie about this? And I figured, you know, but probably you killed him. She says, you think I'm capable of murder? And he says, sure. You're charming and impulsive, which are traits of most serial killers. Only you pull it off. And then tells her about his grandma who killed his grandpa, but sent a birthday card every year. He wants her to know that he loves her, not despite her flaws, but inclusive of her whole self, you know? Murder and all.
I just like, I know we all have a blast watching Misty, but I don't know that I would call her charming.
Well, but you're not Walter.
I know, but he is saying it in a more broad sense. And I feel like when I think of a charming serial killer, Misty is about as far away from that as you could get.
Who do you think is Dexter your most charming serial killer?
I mean, I think I was just thinking of like your Ted Bundy is like the sort of like
dimpled. I don't know if Ted Bundy had a dimple. I just imagined that he might.
Yeah, me neither.
Regardless, her impulsive, charming self says, "Get the fuck out of here." He's like, "I'm literally your right. Like, you don't have a car if I leave." And she's like, "I don't fucking care. You need to go." And he speeds off, which is interesting to me. That's like an interesting response to have.
Yeah, but we don't actually see him like be mad.
No, but like, you know, it just feels like maybe he would like pull over to the side. I don't know. It just feels like he's probably feeling, maybe, we don't know Walter what his MO is, but like maybe he's feeling like something along the lines of what Misty felt when she like thought that they could bond on this level and they couldn't. So there's like some shame there or whatever, but he's gone.
By Walter.
By Walter.
Inside the compound, Natalie finally breaks into Lottie's quarters. She finds a gun. She finds bank statements. She finds all these documents and immediately bursts into a group session in progress.
Why don't you tell everyone why you have detailed reports about their personal lives? You have their phones and notes on their family and bank info. She's manipulating all of you. She's taking advantage of you. She's preying and profiting.
Oh my God. She also says her delusions have hurt people, which like feels like a really important line.
Yeah.
Lottie says something that I remember talking a lot about when we watched this the first time, which is leave us. And I was like, you know, you could really be on the line. Is it a cult or is it just a community? The purple really puts us into kind of a cult place. But I'm going to tell you what, if your leader has wrapped their fucking wound in silk and then says, leave us, you're probably in a cult.
Yeah. You might be in a cult if. Okay. Lottie is like, you want to know what Travis thought you were right about? Me too. Let's do this guided meditation exercise to figure it out together.
Yeah, but she's also like really desperate, right? Like she's like, she says, you want to know what he's going through. And Natalie says, you started it. And Lottie says, maybe that's true, but I need to know. And she's like crying, basically. Like she's not well. She's not like, let me help you, Nat. She's like, I am fucked up and you are fucked up and we need to fucking figure this out together. Like the fucked up people we are. I'll tell you what, I would never let Lottie or anyone in Lottie's position click a little light on and off on either side of my head.
Why not? What's it gonna hurt?
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing. I fucking love the cinematography choices in this segment where like everything is kind of like pulling in and out of focus. It's really beautiful. She's telling Natalie to go back to the last time that she saw Travis alive. I love this too. We get Natalie standing at a window looking out at the ocean and the ocean is moving and it's like very orangey or whatever. Very soon thereafter, we learn that Natalie is simply in a motel room and this is simply a photograph, like a cheap fucking photograph on the wall. But they're high as fuck. She's doing drugs with Travis. This is the last time they saw each other.
Yeah, at this time, he had a job. He was seeing a woman. Natalie overdosed.
Yeah, she says part of me wanted to ruin it and another part of me just missed him. She also says, I'm sorry, but Juliette Lewis is so good at doing everything possible with a line. And she just has the line, fuck this painting. And she just, fuck this painting. It's like so incredible the way she says it. Okay.
And then she says, I see the crash site, but it's different. I see us. We didn't make it. We weren't alone out there.
Also, we didn't make it. And Lottie says, none of us? Like, it's such an interesting fucking question to ask right there. What do you mean we didn't make it? Like, she just is like, okay, yeah, but wait, none? Like, how many didn't make? What you say? Oh, we were all dead? Then the fucking antler queen walks onto the plane.
If I'm on a plane and the antler queen walks on,
you're getting off.
I'm walking off.
They give Nat Narcan to like bring her out of this overdose. And as she's coming back, she's saying, Travis, I saw it. I felt it. We brought it back. This is, I think, the moment when I started pausing. It's very hard to scroll through like frames on, you know, Hulu, Showtime, whatever. But there's a flash. The quickest fucking flash. And I was like, I need to know what that flash is. I need to know what I'm seeing. And so for like 5 minutes, I was like trying to get to it. And then I was like, wait a second. Somebody else has fucking done this already. So I like looked it up. And of course they had. I mean, I did not the first person trying to fucking freeze frame this shit. And it's Natalie. And she's sort of like adult Natalie, but sort of like antler queenie in her like garb, like she's like the thing over her head, and it's done because you kind of like see the antler queen like coming up through the plane, and then there's this it's so fucking quick. Also, I had a good laugh because like at least 4 people on the Reddit were like, damn, I tried for 15 minutes to get this. I should have just checked the internet first. And I was like, the same moment. So that's a thing to put in your back pocket. Antler queen, question mark, question mark, question mark. She says to Lottie, there was some darkness out there with us or in us. It still is. That's what I was right about, right? Because Travis, the note from Travis said, you were right. Then she lays down. Adult Natalie lays her head down.
No.
And then we see that it's teen Nat in Lottie's lap. Beautiful. I loved this moment when it happened. I love this moment when I rewatch it. This is really, really gorgeous.
It is. And all is well and peaceful until adult Lottie sees the shadow of the antler queen stretching across the floor.
You guys, everybody needs to get some help here. We are not okay. Nobody is okay. Okay? No one's okay. Oh, God.
Also, how could it be? This just feels like a weird point in time at which Travis is saying, you were right. There was a darkness out there with us or in us, and it still is. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, you mean when he wrote it before he went to, like, try to get close to... At what point do you feel like it's weird that he said it?
I mean, I just, from when he wrote it to now, like it's a weird window. There were decades between their time in the wilderness and the writing of that note.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember, Jenny, but this is reunion pay dirt. So I do think there's a particular reason why, you know, all of this darkness might be returning. Darkness loves an anniversary.
It's not... It's not the idea. It seems like a fine interval at which to return. It's just weird for Travis to be like now being like, you were right.
Right. But there had to be like a bunch of flip-flops here because like Natalie doesn't believe in the fucking darkness when they're in the woods, at least not yet that we've seen. You know, she's very much Shauna and Natalie are like, I feel like the last two standing that are like, can we just fucking not with this shit? And Travis is more the believer. So there has to be a point when they get back when Natalie is like fucking starts to believe this shit that Travis is like, no. Like there has to be a flip somewhere for then Travis to kind of answer the question that you're posing, which is like, how does Travis become the one that then is saying you were right?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to put it together.
Yeah. This is a lot to unpack. I mean, I don't even think we're going to really be able to unpack it in what's the buzz. We should mention that, of course, there's a little tag at the end of this, which is that Misty buzzes the buzzer until somebody finally is like, Jesus fucking Christ, just go get this fucking woman. And she's like, I would like to join your cult. So that happens. But this moment, and I also want to say that when I first watched this episode, I don't know how I feel about the shadow on the floor even now. When I first watched this episode, I was really angry about it. I thought it was a horrible choice. I didn't like it. And I think it was because I loved the beat of it being teen Natalie and adult Lottie's lap was like so powerful, and I was so moved. And then like it cut to Lottie turning her head and there was just like a shadow of fucking antlers on the floor, and it just felt like this bang of a gong that I didn't want or need in the wake of something that was really beautiful and poignant. It didn't like make me as upset this time, probably because I knew it was coming and whatever. But I don't know if you had the same response to this or like how you feel about the shadow.
It just it did not feel necessary, especially after like the plane vision.
Right.
It just like felt a little extra.
Yeah. And what a beautiful fucking end to that moment if it was just teen Natalie in Lottie's lap. And maybe you see Lottie is crying, which she is, and that's it. That's enough. Okay. All right, Jenny, you want to go buzz with me?
Let's buzz.
Where to begin?
Man, Akila just like seems so disproportionately relieved when she draws the 6 of diamonds. I just like...
But like in this arc, right, they don't... Like they haven't...
Well, we don't see every single second
right
that they're awake. It just felt weird. It just felt a little... weird. And we've talked a bunch about how stuff got scraped out of various episodes or in this season because they wanted to make, I think, the Emmy deadline.
Right, which is why there was 9 and not 10.
Exactly.
Also, right?
So I just wonder like how much stuff we're missing from that scrape.
I also think like to that end, you know, we talk a lot about like the second season being messier than the first, of course, and all the reasons, some of them being, you know, the clamor of fans and how you handle that. And, you know, we haven't talked about this, though. I think that maybe you wanted to talk about it a little bit in What's the Buzz, where like we know that Juliette Lewis is going to be leaving the show. And what has that done to the plan for the story?
Yeah, how has that altered their airtight 5-season plan?
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't seem like they intended to kill off Natalie at the end of season 2.
No.
And therefore like everybody was just like on the same page. Like it seems from certain things that have happened in public spaces that like Juliette Lewis was like, I've had enough.
Yeah. Well, and
let
like
me out of here.
Clearly, because if it was the plan, I mean, let's be real. If it was the plan to kill adult Nat at the end of season 2 or somewhere near that, you know that you're going to still want to use Juliette Lewis. I mean, even if it's just flashbacks or whatever the fuck, like, you know, you're going to want to use her. And she has not been in anything, anywhere, in any way, shape or form. Like, it is clear that this was not, that was not the plan. So I don't know. But the other piece of that is like, how much were they pushed or felt like obligated to vie for these awards that, but you know, just like a bummer. Just a bummer when it comes to that shit.
I'm really interested in, upon this rewatch, like the introduction of Natalie's vision of them all dead on the plane.
I know. So what, you know, I am interested too. It's a wild thing to introduce. It also felt so wild to me this season in general that we got both a hatch and the idea that maybe they had all died. I was like, you guys, what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot of overlap.
What if it's not that they died on the initial plane crash, but rather that their rescue plane is going to crash on the way back?
What Alanis Morissette would say, isn't it ironic?
I wonder if the reason that Lottie said what she said about like all of us or none of us or whatever.
Yeah.
Was I wonder if she had vision. I wonder if she had a vision that like that pinged for her, and she was like, oh, that's not exactly
right.
Comparing
exactly
notes,
how
it's not exactly
I saw
the vision
it,
I
but
had.
now we're getting somewhere.
Who's Javi's friend?
Who the fuck is Javi's friend?
Is it Shadow Tie? Is it the Antler Queen? Question mark.
You think it's one of them?
I don't know. Is
Triangle Buddy a girl?
Is it Triangle Budette? Is it the daughter of Skeleton Buddy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Skeleton Buddy lived there with his daughter. And then she survived in the woods forever after, waiting for somebody to under her little tree. She just was with all the gnomes making the cookies until, Javi came.
Okay, the thing is, we know that Crystal's body is going to be gone.
Oh, right. Oh my God, I fucking forgot that Crystal's body was gone.
Crystal's body is gonna be gone.
So like somebody else is out here with us?
Maybe.
But is it just Shadow Tie? You know what I mean? It could always just be Shadow Tie shitting in the bucket, taking fucking Crystal's body to the who knows. The other thing, so important to know that, of course, we know as people who've seen the whole season that Ty and Van, that when Ty says we're not meant to be here, she's meaning we need to go to the fucking compound. We need to go unite with the rest of the crew. We need to get everybody back together again. That's where they're about to go.
Yeah.
We know, obviously, Van's not paying bills. Van's taking Oxy. Van's eating donuts because Van is dying. And
yeah,
I just really I feel like Triangle Buddy has taken a lot from us. And what I would ask for in return is for Van to live. I just feel like, can we just keep Van, though? Can we keep adult Van? Can you cure her cancer? We've given you all the blood. I will slice my palm if it means the Triangle Buddy lets me keep adult Van.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about Shauna's baby before we leave, but do you have more for What's the Buzz before I get there?
Just can't wait to find out how Lottie's delusions have hurt people. Namely Mari. Namely as she falls
into the pit. Well, and I mean, okay, so, tied to the Shauna's baby of it all, right? We know that in the next episode, Shauna will give birth and her baby will not live. I will tell you all here in What's the Buzz that Jennifer Owen Youngs will be hosting the 6th episode with Joanna Robinson because I said, hey, you know what? I'm not fucking watching an episode or talking about an episode where Shauna gives birth to a stillborn baby when I am 7 months pregnant. That just doesn't seem like something that I should do.
That's not for you right now.
It's not good. It's not really good for anyone, honestly. I appreciate the lift that you and Joanna will do, but it's certainly not good for me. So I'm going to be skipping that. And thank you both for taking that lift for me. But I will say that, Lottie is doing all this stuff with the trees and the wind and the bear happened and like things have happened. But also Lottie has been convinced that this baby is going to bring who knows what. And we know that in the next episode, like that is going to be dashed to pieces. And so, there's this disconnect or dissonance or something with, sometimes Lottie does things where you're like, wow, what's happening with Lottie? What's she seeing? What's going on there? And then sometimes she's just straight up wrong or she just straight up does things that are, potentially harmful. And I don't think we've seen some of the worst of them. But I do think that when this baby does not make it, that is like one of the first times in the show when it's like, wait, Lottie did not know this. Lottie did not know this. And that feels important.
It does. Wow. So glad they're going to be back in February.
What I said to Avanti today, sitting on the couch, I was like, aren't you so excited that we get to watch this show, the 3rd season of this show with a literal like days old baby? I don't know. I will let you know. I'll report back on what it's like to be a brand new parent for the first time and have a fucking heaping scoop of Yellowjackets to go along with that.
Yeah, yikes. Should we get out of the buzz?
We should get out of the buzz. We should get out of the buzz. Out of the buzz and into the woods or something. Get out of my buzz.
Okay.
And into my car.
Okay, before we go, before we sign off, I just want to introduce a new semi-segment called The Best Thing I Read on Reddit this week.
Is the segment called The Best Thing I Read It?
Yes.
Great.
Sure. 2 runners up. The first runner up, did anyone notice that no one called out for Crystal in the storm except Misty? Cold as fuck. Response. In fairness, they've only known her for 5 episodes.
She was on the back of the plane, guys.
The other runner-up. Adult Van, I am free on Thursday, so please let me know if you want to hang out on Thursday with me when I am free. And my absolute favorite thing that I read on Reddit this week. I can excuse cannibalism, but I draw the line at sleeping with Randy.
Hey! Justice for Randy, goddammit.
Randy's a fun guy.
So fun. Honestly, Randy would be a super fun guy to have a roll in the hay with, you know?
You know who else is a fun guy? Me. I'm Jenny Owen
Youngs. That
Youngs.
was really dangerous.
What do you mean?
Well, because I said, you know who's really fun to have a roll in the hay with? And you said, you know who's really fun? Me. I was like, Jenny?
Oh. Well, as just as the prophecy foretold, I wasn't listening to you. I'm not listening to Kristin. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. And when I'm not listening to Kristin... well, that's all the time. But when I'm not making a podcast with Kristin where I'm not listening to her, I am making music. A deluxe edition of my latest album, Avalanche, came out November 22nd, which was also my birthday. And honestly, it's borderline rude if you haven't listened to it already for birthday reasons. I think you're really cool. I think you're nice. I'd love it if you put my little songs in your ears. You can find me on socials at Jenny Owen Youngs or learn more about me upon the internet at jennyowenyoungs.com.
When I am not talking to Jenny Owen Youngs and being not listened to, I am often found doing work with and for LGBTQ plus communities. You can learn about my work at KristinNoline.com. This goes up on the 29th, and if you don't know, I don't even know if they're in stock anymore, but if they are, I threw up some Queer and Forever Here t-shirts, so you can also find that by going to KristinNoline.bigcartel.com, or you might not, because we record these in advance, and honestly, I don't know if there'll be any, but you know what? Merry Christmas.
You could try.
Yeah. You can follow me on socials at Kristin Noline. And Jenny, what about us?
Buffering, a rewatch adventure, is on socials at BufferingCast. You can email us at at hello@bufferingcast.com. I was going to make up a joke email, but then I couldn't think of one. Doing night recordings burned so brightly, yet so briefly.
Yeah.
There was a really magical time where they were lit.
We're coming to the end. Just picture Jenny and I carrying 2 little candle stubs.
Yes, in our long stocking caps and nightgowns. I was having this exact same vision.
We're about to lay our heads down on our soft down pillows.
Yeah, and then get woken up at the stroke of midnight, and fucking this Joker is like, I am the ghost of podcast future.
Oh God. If you'd like to support us, because every once in a while it is nice to get a new stocking cap. You can join.
Contribute to our stocking cap fund, please.
Patreon.
Candles don't by themselves.
Patreon.com/bufferingcast. And Jenny, who made this podcast? I don't even know.
Holy Christ.
Never
this
met her.
show was produced by Jenny and Kristin, one good friend and one best friend. It was edited by John Mark Nelson. Ugh, that guy. And till next time. Zoom just asked me if I was playing music and if I wanted to set up professional audio in audio settings.
I was about to tell you that one of these days.
We must sound good.
I was about to tell you that one of these days I'm going to fucking bring a violin up from off screen and scratch a fucking thing
well,
across
now
it.
You've ruined it by telling me.
You can't ruin that. It's too good.
Hey folks, we're the hosts of Comic Sans, the podcast about comics for those who are sans knowledge. I'm Yen, a reader, writer, liver, and breather of comic books.
And I'm Nat. I used to know absolutely nothing about comics, but now...
So actually, I've got a quiz for you.
I still have a lot to learn about comics.
Thank you. On Comic Sans, I make Nat read some of my favorite works in the medium, including Saga, Daredevil, and the Flintstones.
And Yen talks about what makes that comic special. Sometimes it's a story, sometimes it's...
Paneling, gutters, page turns, colorings, lettering, semiotics, juxtaposition.
Okay, Professor, save it for the episodes.
You can listen to Comic Sans on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can binge our first 2 seasons. That's over 20 episodes on 20 different comics.
And we just launched Season 3, new episodes every 2 weeks.
You should listen to the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
More people are playing games than ever before. They've never been more popular, and yet the business behind it is facing some real challenges and changes.
There's been tens of thousands of layoffs, hundreds of studio closures as major companies face rising costs and falling sales.
There's uncertainty around the future of game consoles.
There's legal and government intervention into how games are even being paid for.
The role of AI is changing how games are being made.
There's the impact of games like Fortnite and Roblox dominating everyone's time.
And then there's the desperate wait for Switch 2 and GTA 6, and that's just 2024.
2 leading business journalists with a combined 35 years of experience offer you a weekly guide through all of this and more.
I'm Christopher Dring, head of GamesIndustry.biz.
I'm James Batchelor, editor-in-chief of GamesIndustry.biz, and you can join us every Monday for the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
The most important stories,
expert guests,
exclusive market data,
and all in less than 30 minutes.
Usually.
The GamesIndustry.biz microcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.